But then the economy slammed into a pile of rocks known as Crooked Joe Biden. Crooked Joe. We used to call him Sleepy Joe. Now we call him Crooked Joe. I took it away from Crooked Hillary. That was a good day when I took it. She had the best day. I think she celebrated that night. Now we call her Beautiful Hillary. She's a beautiful woman. Crooked Joe's inflation crisis has raised costs for small businesses like this one by more than 20% already, and it's going much higher. Biden's energy crisis has hurt sales by nearly tripling the cost to fill up a sportsman's 355-gallon gas tank. Think of that, 3 times higher. Soaring interest rates, which is even a worse problem, make boat loans much more expensive, makes it very hard for people to buy boats, and all of this horrible stuff is happening against your incredible American worker. Under Biden, household incomes have been crushed by nearly $7,400 a year. Does anyone know that? Marjorie, did you know that? Under Trump, incomes increased by more than $8,000 a year with no inflation. We didn't have inflation. A vote for Crooked Joe Biden is a vote for inflation, taxation, submission, and failure. That's what it is. A vote for Trump is a vote for more jobs, higher wages, and more boats, cars, trucks, and airplanes stamped made in America and made in South Carolina. Here are some of the first steps I'll take to rescue our workers, manufacturers, and small businesses from the burning wreckage of Bidenomics as soon as we get back into the Oval Office. We got to get back fast. I tell you, if we don't get back, I really believe this country is finished. I really believe it. I hate to say that. It's horrible. And Marjorie's nodding her head, and Henry's nodding his head, so I can't be the only one that thinks that. But I think this country will be finished. They're destroying our country so stupidly, so evilly. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end Joe Biden's war on American energy and reclaim energy independence. 3 years ago, we were totally energy independent, heading over to energy dominance, right, Russell? For our next term, I've set the ambitious goal of achieving the #1 lowest cost of energy and electricity anywhere in any major industrial nation on Earth, and we'll be there within 6 months. In other words, we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to be drilling. We're going to be drilling like we were doing. For decades, politicians like Crooked Joe viciously betrayed South Carolina workers. You know that. Look at what's happened to your state in the last few years. Short time ago, you had the best numbers you've ever had, and now they're rapidly coming down. Rapidly, like nobody's ever seen before. Has nothing to do with you. It has to do with people that are very stupid people, and I think very evil people in the White House. Your state lost 1 in 3 manufacturing jobs after Biden supported the NAFTA disaster and China's entrance into the WTO. That was a long time ago, but it showed his thinking. It was a disaster. The World Trade Organization, a disaster. China took advantage of everybody for years. I've been speaking about it for a long time, and I did a lot about it when I got into office. China paid us hundreds of billions of dollars. Not one president got 10 cents from China. I got hundreds of billions of dollars from China. They weren't too happy with me, hence the China virus. If it were up to Crooked Joe Biden, every single job here at Sportsman Boats would be shipped off to another country. Biden puts China first, Mexico first, Ukraine first, Europe first, Asia first, illegal aliens first, above our great veterans, you know that. Puts the illegal aliens above our veterans. Our veterans live like hell. And you know what? You see what's happening. Do you ever see the illegal aliens? The weirdest thing, they come in by the tens of thousands, sometimes a day, and they all have cell phones. I'm saying, where did they get the cell phones? Everybody has a cell phone. They're all talking on these beautiful cell phones, and they're expensive ones, too. They're nice ones. Somebody who's into that said, those are good phones. And then I say, who pays their bills? Who's paying the bills, Marjorie? Do you want to check that? I'll give it to Marjorie. She'll figure that one out fast. No, but you ever notice? They're all coming in with cell phones. Our veterans don't have cell phones, do they? But they put illegal aliens first and everyone first, but he puts America last. He puts our military last. He puts our veterans last. He puts workers last. He puts small businesses last. He puts everything that's good. and proper last. He puts it last. It's crazy. I put America first every single time. Every single time.
From the economy to the border, there's almost no doubt that under former President Donald Trump, things were a lot better off than what they are currently under President Biden. And in a recent poll, it really shows that, because 47% of Americans said they trust Trump more to improve the economy as opposed to just 36% under current President Joe Biden. And 70% of Americans feel the economy is actually getting worse in a time where the White House is beginning to use the term Bidenomics more, as if the term Bidenomics actually means a good thing, when in fact, in most minds of Americans, it actually is a bad thing, lots of inflation. And this is a time where a lot of Americans are now forced to go out and get 2 or 3 jobs just to support their family. So with that said, it's not really a big surprise that in a recent poll by ABC News and the Washington Post, Trump now leads Biden by 10 points, and in a separate poll by the Messenger and Harris X, he leads by 5 points. Now, also in his speech, he mentioned that back during the 2016 elections, Hillary Clinton was saying, oh, we can't elect Trump because he's definitely going to be starting a war. Well, whenever Trump did enter office, he never actually ended up starting a war. And now, this year in 2023, we're closer than ever to starting World War III under President Biden, and Trump mentions just this. Watch.
But I was the first president in decades who didn't start a war. Remember Crooked Hillary? Now it's Beautiful Hillary. Remember when Beautiful Hillary said, he's going to start a war because of my personality. I said, no, my personality is going to keep us from fighting in wars, and that's what happened. Russia and Ukraine would never have happened. China would never be talking about Taiwan, would never. Russia, so sad. Millions of people killed. I think when you find the real numbers, you're going to find they're much higher than anything that's being reported. When you knock down those massive apartment houses and they say nobody was injured, nobody was hurt, there were no deaths, they're lying to you. Millions of people are dead. Would have never happened. Those cities and those cultures are all destroyed. You can never rebuild them. You can never rebuild them, certainly not the way they were. But all of that was just the beginning. Here's just some of the agenda we will immediately implement when we become, we're going to become the 47th president of the United States. I will totally obliterate the deep state. We fired Comey, we got rid of a lot of scum. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after I win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. It's going to be settled. I know them both. It's going to be settled. Quickly. It'll be done very quickly, and I'm the only candidate who can make this promise to you. I will prevent World War III, and we're a lot closer than anyone knows. We are a lot closer to World War III than anyone knows, and that will be a war like no other. That will be obliteration. This isn't army tanks going back and forth shooting at each other. This is weaponry like nobody can even imagine. You don't even want to talk about it. On my first day back in the White House, I will terminate every open borders policy of the Biden administration and begin the largest deportation operation in American history. And I will also use Title 42 to end the child trafficking crisis by returning all trafficked children to their families in their home countries, and that will be done immediately. They want to go home. They want to go home. Horrible what they've done to children. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the heads of our children. And I will not give 1 penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or mask mandate. No mandates. I will immediately close the Federal Department of Education, and we will move everything back to the states where they can individualize education and do it with love for our children. And I will sign a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. Can you imagine? Can you imagine, Yvette? Can you imagine even saying that? Having to even say, child, think of it. I was thinking the other night, I was making a speech. I said, I will not allow child mutilation. Child mutilation, the word, is such a horrible word. And we won't allow it in our country. And can you imagine saying that 10 years ago? People would say, what the hell is he talking about? And actually today it's a big, they mutilize, I mean, they want to mutilate your children. These people are sick.